I was trying to figure out how to make more money, honestly.
Hey, actor, what are you doing for money while you're waiting for your big break? Well, today I am interviewing the amazing, the spectacular Miss Vero Lopez. She is the Shopify guru, and she has helped me throughout this past year setting up my store, doing what I need to do. And today she is going to give us some great tips on how you can turn your creativity into cash while you're waiting to land that big role in that movie or TV show. If this is your first time here, my name is Lydia Nicole, and this is Acting Smarter Now. If you had to start from scratch with only $100 and a computer, what would be your first steps to starting a business?
I would first identify who I'm targeting. That's something that I didn't do when I first started. So when I first started Shopify, I was a merchant, like many of you guys. And I would only focus on maybe 1 to 2 products and then go all in the marketing. So when I first started, drop shipper with jewelry.
What does that mean? A drop shipper? What
Drop
does that?
shipping is print on demand. You don't,
Okay.
or it's not necessarily print on demand, but you're not the one holding the inventory. Someone else is. There's a third party that's taking care of the packaging and the shipping of the products. And I started with jewelry. And so I had this tagline that was like fashion for everyone. And honestly, Lydia, I sold to almost no one. So what I would do is niche down to who I'm selling to, who's my target audience, how do I communicate with them?
So, how I'm communicating with them for someone who this is their first time hearing anything about selling, am I communicating with them through social media platforms? Am I
Right,
communicating?
absolutely.
Okay. And am I
Absolutely.
communicating with them on how they speak or what they like to hear?
Yes, you want to communicate with your audience in the way that they understand what you're saying. So if your audience, for example, is, and I'm just going to use this as an example because I used to do the natural skincare line, right? So, are you looking to, do you have dry skin? Especially if it's the winter, are you feeling a little, are you feeling a little ashy? Just the terms that people use to actually connect with what you're selling, not just this is made out of this. Like, you want to tell that story, or like why your product will help them. What problem are you solving? Right?
Hmm.
Because as they say out there, facts tell, stories sell. That's what you want to do, because that's the way you want to connect and build trust with your audience.
That's good. So, okay, so you have $100, you have a laptop, you're going to start with a product. Should you start with something you already know? Like, as an actor, what I know is acting. So for me,
Absolutely.
starting out, I've started out with my planner because that is something of value that actors can get a lot from, and it'll help their career. So that would be something that I would start selling them on different social media platforms.
Absolutely. You want to see what you've done, something that you've been able to master, or something that you've been able to accomplish yourself, and then lean on that. Because now you're going to put yourself in a place where you're the authority in that place. You don't want to get into something you don't know anything about, because then you're just going to be winging it. And you're not going to build that trust and connection winging it necessarily, right? You want to make sure you start, especially as an actor, right? The same way you did. I started with my journals. This is something I know how to do. And then you're able to then connect with the audience. Absolutely.
And so then for the actor out there who is looking for a side hustle, I
Mhm.
think finding a product, finding a service, something that you are really good at is a great way to align yourself with Shopify. And you, my Shopify grandmaster, teacher, savior, you really have helped me get my store together. It's like I had the products, but I didn't have an order. I didn't, I needed to know a lot more. So in the beginning, for an actor who says, "Well, I have a product," I'm thinking of an actor friend of mine who
Mhm.
had an allergy. She's had severe allergies. So she started creating these little food items that were very natural and organic, and she started selling them at farmers markets. And then she went online and started utilizing Shopify. So for an actor who maybe they have a product or they have a piece of merchandise, maybe they make earrings or they make some kind of crafts. Actors are very artistic, so even when they're not acting, they're doing something. So they have crafts or they've come up with a t-shirt idea. How can Shopify help them?
Shopify is going to be that online platform that's going to allow them to create their own store. Like if you're at the farmer's market, it's their own setup, right?
Mm-hmm.
The good thing with Shopify is you own all your data. So even if someone visits your store and doesn't necessarily purchase right away, if you're able to incentivize them to maybe get their email from them, then you can retarget them later. So having all that information to be able to sell your product and be able to have that platform where you can send people, you have an audience, right? You have someone who's already, you have folks who already follow you, send them there. So then you can monetize out of that. And you don't necessarily have to do it based off your acting. Like you said, I have some allergies and this is what I did to help myself. Tell them the why. Why did you create this? Give them the story of what led you to where you're at today with the items or the products that you're selling.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you can lean actually on that creativity and that story on why you did it to funnel the people over to your store. But Shopify is going to allow you to basically sell from anywhere. You don't have to worry about vending at different farmers markets, different festivals. You can actually now take it online.
Right.
And you can combine too. That's another story.
Yes, I love that because through my boss's company, he's a filmmaker, we sell our DVDs through Shopify. And whenever he's doing a show, we have the physical copies and then we have our little Shopify app.
Point of
And it
sale.
is
Yep.
so helpful. And I don't think a lot of actors understand, especially those actors who've been around for a while, and they don't realize they actually have merchandise that they can sell.
Yeah.
That even memorabilia. I was reading something the other day about if you had a name out there, you've been on a TV show or you've done a bunch of movies and people recognize you and people are always asking you for your autograph, you can actually either buy some of your DVDs wholesale from the
Mhm.
company and then autograph it and upsell it, sell it for a little bit more money to make a profit. So if you buy the
Absolutely.
DVD for $20 or you did a DVD, let's say you did a little low budget film and you got all these DVDs in your closet, here is a hack for you to get rid of them. You can set up a Shopify store, and
Yep.
on Shopify, you can actually create a website for it, right? You don't have to have a website.
So your Shopify store is your website.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Your Shopify store is your website. Your homepage is going to be like your landing page, right? And
Mm-hmm.
you can showcase your products in your landing page and even create sub pages specifically for one product, for example. So I'll create the heck out of a funnel out of a Shopify store.
What's a funnel?
Okay, so funnels can be many different things, right? But there's a lot of folks who do services, for example, who instead of using Shopify, they'll use ClickFunnels or Go High Level. But one of my biggest things is to bust the myth that Shopify is only for products and digital products. You can also use it for services. If you're collecting money online, my motto is just go with Shopify
Okay.
because all the payment gateways are already all there.
So if I'm teaching acting classes, if I'm doing consultant work, if I am reading somebody's script and giving them notes, I can take that all to Shopify.
You can monetize so much. And honestly, it's all in one. You can add apps to optimize the functionality of the store so people can book appointments through your Shopify store. People
Wow.
can sign up for monthly subscriptions or weekly subscriptions through Shopify. And then now you're automating your process. Now you're automating your money coming into to you without it having to be you having to do the manual sale each time.
Now, let me ask you a question. You have a community called Pixel Namex Circle. And do you use Shopify for your circle?
I have a community called Pixelnamics Circle. I have been trying different communities actually. Right now, I am using Mighty Networks.
I love Mighty Networks.
I am using Mighty Networks. However, Shopify does have apps that folks have developed that include communities. So one of them that I've used in the past is called Tevelo, and that one actually allows you to sell courses plus the community. So you can put together a whole ecosystem, have pre-recorded courses, content, and community all in one. So it is possible to do that in Shopify as well.
So I'm an actor. I'm painting the picture here. I'm an actor. I am selling a workshop. I'm doing a goals workshop for actors, how to plan your career. And I am going to sell it on Shopify. And then I am also going to set up where they can reach out to me for a 15-minute consultation to make sure that they want to be in my workshop. Now, can I use Shopify to put blogs up in? So even though it's just a store, I want to trick it out to be like my personal website of sorts.
Shopify can be your personal website. Absolutely. Blogs are a must. Blogs are a must. So there is a blog feature already embedded in Shopify. And I actually love applying blogs to all of my clients' websites because that helps with SEO, your search engine optimization, which is going to help you rank in Google. So you use all your keywords. Then you also can backlink your blogs back into like your products. So you can be blogging about, let's say, acting, and then you can plug in your link to your journal, for example, with the keywords. And someone might run into your blog before they even run into your store. Read your blog and say, oh, I wonder where this takes me, this link. And boom, now they're at your product page.
So if I write a blog on my Shopify, it will put in keywords for the SEO. Is that how that works? Or you put in the keywords?
You put in.
Okay.
You have
Okay.
the freedom to create whatever writing piece you want to.
And as we're talking, I'm thinking of my friend ChatGPT, that we all have our own names for ChatGPT.
Right.
But I could go to ChatGPT and write my little blog and say, hey, can you rewrite this with SEOs for
Absolutely.
actors to help them with their goal setting?
Absolutely. You
Okay.
want to like let Chat GPT know, um, create a blog about this, use keywords that are used, in that industry or in that line. And you can even take it a further step and do your keyword search first and then upload that when you're asking it to actually write the blog. So then now you have a set of keywords that you've already researched. Do you in like the deep
Yes.
research
And
on
is that
ChatGPT?
And yes, I was just going to
Yeah.
ask you. So I would do that on ChatGPT, do my SEO keywords, and then start adding them when I do a blog. This is so good. That's
Yeah.
why you the grandmaster.
Yeah.
Let me just say something to you watching. First of all, Vero is a beast when it comes to AI stuff and figuring things out. She is a monster. I've been working with Vero for the last year, and anytime I run into a problem, Vero, can you help me? I can't get it.
I
And
love it.
and she is not only great, but she has taught me how to use AI in Shopify, because now AI is in Shopify. I
Absolutely.
want to know how you got into. You said you started out because you had a product that you were selling on Shopify, but how did you get so excited about Shopify itself that you were like, you know what? I could do this. I could help people with this.
I started back in 2016. Like I mentioned earlier, I was doing drop shipping for jewelry. I was trying to figure out how to make more money, honestly. And it was a journey. It was a journey. From there, I went into natural skincare line. And that's when I really started investing in my knowledge in Shopify. So I started attending webinars, courses, everything that I can do to invest myself in learning about Shopify. Then I found myself constantly tweaking my stores, and then friends would ask me, "Hey, can you help me? I know you have a store. Can you help me with mine?" And honestly, I realized I really love just the functionalities of Shopify, just the platform itself, designing them. And I had so much fun doing that. And one day, one of my friends actually paid me for helping him. And I was like, wait, how many creams would I had to have sold to make this money? This is actually, I think I'm onto something. So I started doing some Fiverr gigs and really realized like I can
Oh, wow.
monetize this. And this is actually really fun. I love doing this.
So you just said something. So you went from jewelry to creams on Shopify. You were selling jewelry when that wasn't working the way you wanted it. You said, okay, I got to sell something else. Is that what happened?
Honestly, Lydia, I was running three different things at the same time.
Okay.
I was holding on to strings. I was trying to I still have the jewelry in my garage in the storage. I still have containers and packaging for my creams. I was doing all three, and when I decided to just hone down on doing Shopify stores alone, that's when my business grew because I was
Wow.
doing a whole lot. I was doing too much.
Okay, so going back to Shopify, because you had product in your house that you were now shipping out yourself, and you talked about
Correct.
drop and so there is different sites that you can actually buy the product, so it never has to go to your home. If you're an actor who says, you know what, I have an idea for some merchandise
Right.
like a mug,
Listen,
like a tote bag, like
listen.
a cap, but I don't want it in my home. I don't have that kind
Right.
of space. So there are print on demand websites. So I'm going to go back a little bit. First, I would create the logo or create whatever
The design.
the design is that I want
Right.
to put on the piece of merchandise. Then I would find a print on demand company who would take my logo, take my design, and put it on their merchandise. They then I connect the print on demand to Shopify.
Correct.
Is that what I do?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So there's platforms such as Printful or Printify that automatically connect with Shopify. And those are what we call the print on demands, where you create your own design, you can upload it into a t-shirt, a mug, a tote bag, journals. There's an abundance of products that you can actually monetize out of. And then there's drop shipping. So that still uses a drop shipping model because drop shipping basically means that there's a third party that's fulfilling and shipping the products. Okay. Now there's also just plain drop shipping. You're not necessarily designing anything, but you can connect your store to other companies that have the jewelries, that have clothing, that have makeup, and then you can have them also just send it out. You don't have to worry about storage, inventory count. How are you going to package this looking good? Shipping things out on time. Now, the profit margins are lower when you're doing this model than when
Right.
you have your own inventory,
Right.
but there's positives and negatives to both. If you're
Mhm.
just starting out, it's a great way to start because you don't have to put in the money and the overhead. You kind of pay as you go. Someone places an order, then you pay them, then it goes out.
Right. And with those print on demand companies, because I use Printful, is you buy a piece of merchandise first. They'll give you a discount to make sure everything is good because you got to check it out before you
Yeah.
start trying to get it out. You know, I've
Yeah.
we've had problems where we put a design, and then we ordered the product to see how it looked, and it was too small, or
Right.
it was a little out of whack. It didn't.
Right.
So you have to do your work. It in order to have a side hustle that you can include Shopify, there is an investment of time, there is an
Mhm.
investment of learning. You need to have a learning curve. So even if they want to start a Shopify store, how would you, as the grand master of Shopify, be able to help them? They have an idea. They have, I have this quote that everybody loves. I want to put it on some t-shirts and some tote bags. How can you help me set up my store and get things running?
So I have a couple of offers that I do. If you already have a store up and ready, we can start with an audit where I can go through your store and then let you know, okay, you need to move this, you need to tweak that. And then we can move on to some coaching where we can go into your inside dashboard of your Shopify store. Now let's look at your systems. What do you have set up already? What's automated? What's not? How do you design your Shopify store? Right? That was one of the things that we did for your store. And let me tell you, you took off. You
what
took off with your
what were
design.
our colors? I mean, you really, well, here's
All
the
of that.
thing. You really helped me, because as quiet as it's kept, I have been trying to have a Shopify store for a while. I even went to the Shopify place for tutorials, and it didn't help me. Sometimes you need the right person to
Mhm.
help you understand stuff. And you
Absolutely.
can you can watch as many tutorials as you want, but if it's not going here, forget about it. And
Right.
you made it so easy and so simple. You really walked me through it, not understanding. It was math to me. It was just math, and math and I, we fight. And so, but you made it feel like poetry. You were like, okay, and this is this, you all you do is this. And you took me through the AI function. When the AI
Mhm.
function first came out, I said, oh yeah, you could try it. and
Right.
and you made me feel so comfortable that it was easier. I still need you, but it was easier for me to go, oh, okay, I can tweak this. I think I can
Yes.
tweak this on my own. I think I can do this. But you really helped me with the colors. You helped me with the formatting of it. You helped
Yes.
me with the blog, because I did not know that there was a blog component to it.
Hmm.
And you just showed me a lot of stuff that I could do. And then from that, I was able to go to my social media
Right.
pages and start posting stuff, and do my book. And my book, because of you, I have my book on Shopify. I and I will say that my book started on Amazon. I did not have control of who was ordering. I couldn't respond back to them as
Hmm.
far as, hey, this is, would you like to join my email group, or
Right.
that kind of stuff. So I appreciated you walking me through it, because I was able to then find a third party to buy the books, and
Hmm.
then do it through Shopify. And that helped
Absolutely.
a lot.
Absolutely. I love coaching Shopify. It's one of the most fun things for me to do. And it's just so smooth for me, so easy for me to do it as well. And my thing is, let you share your screen and I'm going to talk you through this. You click around because that's going to get that muscle memory on how to do this, right?
It makes a difference. You walking us through it really makes a difference.
Absolutely. And then selling them in Amazon, Etsy, yeah, it's like you're able to kind of get on someone else's platform. But you don't have control of your data. You don't own your data. So when you actually own your data, that's super valuable because now you're able to retarget.
Again, for those people who don't know what data is, that means the email, that means the addresses. you
Absolutely.
you that and that is gold. People pay a lot of money for those lists. So
Right.
you owning it makes a difference. And you also, being trustworthy with that information and not selling it to a third party,
Right.
is very important. I'll just say
Absolutely.
that, because you don't want to lose the trust of
No,
the
you don't.
client.
No, you don't. Because then you'll get blacklisted and people start saying stuff. They won't keep quiet when it comes to that. You want to definitely protect their privacy and then use it for your own business, because that's what they came to your website for. And the it's so valuable because these are people who are actually interested in what you have to offer. This is not just random algorithms or anything like that. These are people who specifically signed up for what you offer. That's why
Yes.
it's so valuable.
So for an actor, they're going on their auditions, they're doing their self tapes, they're trying to get their career going. How valuable is having a side hustle like Shopify?
It's almost like it's an extension of what you're already doing. So now you give your audience something else to do. So it's not just watch me do this and let me entertain you, but now let me entertain you and hey, support. Here's this, and monetizing for it. You can get some money out of that as well, because lattes aren't cheap anymore nowadays.
Water is not cheap nowadays.
Listen,
Water, you got to pay for water. I don't know
you gotta
about you.
breathe and drink water.
Well, when I was
Absolutely.
little, you got water for free out of the tap, and now you have to buy your bottled water. You
Absolutely.
don't leave home without it, and that's another thing you can sell on Shopify
Water
through
bottles.
a
Print on
print on
demand.
demand. You can
Mhm.
have a water bottle. I want to share going into the side hustle, because when I started in the business, the only thing actors could do as side hustles were be bartenders, waiters, hostesses. That was it, unless you did like a part-time job that you really hated, or you were a temp,
Mhm.
what do you call it, a temp worker, or you were
Right.
a receptionist. But today we have so many options, and as I was looking at how many artists do Shopify, I'm talking the big artists,
Yeah.
Zendaya, Beyonce, Adele, Billie Eilish,
Drake.
Ariana Grande, Kim
Right.
Kardashian, and
Kardashians.
then
Yep.
you got Drew Barrymore, you got Jennifer Aniston, you got all these people that um you would think, well, they don't need that. They're making their own money, but they're making money because they're selling their merch on Shopify.
They are using their status and they're leveraging their audience to make more money. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a like merch product. You could have digital products. So lean on your skills, right? So if you do vocal lessons or if you do any meditations, right? Like, and you can even hone down on what you do outside of your acting. It doesn't have to necessarily be with your acting. Oh, okay, I love doing XYZ. So you can even lean on something that you do outside of your acting, but you're connecting with your audience because hey, I'm a person too and I like to do yoga and I like to do this too, and you're able to monetize from just being you.
Right. And you can also do voice messages for, you can sell voice messages. You have a fabulous voice. You can come up with 10 little voice messages that you'll sell for $5, $6. And all you got to do is put your phone recorder on and then upload that bad boy, and bam, you got a piece of product.
Right. And there's an app that helps you connect those. There's multiple apps, by the way. But there's apps for digital products. So someone buys that digital product, it'll automatically get emailed to them. So now you're making money while you're traveling in Puerto Rico, sipping on a pina colada, right? And you're making money still because you set up the systems to be automated and sell online.
That is why I love you so much, Vero, because you just keep blowing my mind. You keep, there's an app for that. Let's do that. What I love most about working with you is that you are so easy. Um, you are so easy, and you make things so easy. You make the client feel, and I'm speaking for myself. That's all I can do, is that you really make the client feel safe.
Mhm.
I've tried other people, and they kind of give me the look like, you don't know this is so simple. But
Wow.
I love that you just go, oh, let's try this, let's do this, okay. And you give homework, and I really like that you go,
Yeah.
okay, all right, so now this is your homework. You're going to take this and then you're going to do these three things, and then when you come back, then we'll integrate it into the Shopify store and see how it goes. And so I really appreciate the fact that you go the extra. You're not just giving me a template, because you could automate it. You could just say, okay, this is step A, step B, here
Right.
are the basic apps. The thing that client will get with you is that they will get full service. You will give them what they ask for and more. So I really I love it, and I love the idea of actors having a side hustle that's connected to Shopify,
Absolutely.
because it does make life a little bit easier. You have to do work. It's bad when, you watch these YouTube videos and they go, make passive income, and you don't have to do anything. You just connect this and you go. But the truth is that it's a business, so you have to put some time in. I'll just say this. Years ago, when I was trying to figure out what I could do while I was, waiting on acting jobs to come in. My friend's father was a big wig at Amway. And
Okay.
so he was selling me on Amway. I had a newborn. I was trying to figure out, okay, I gotta make money because I got a child to support here. I'm a single mom. I gotta figure this out. And he was like, yeah, it's easy. You just get your friends and then you get some friends to sign up. And then, man, I did that for 2 months. It was the hardest job. I was like, this ain't easy. And then I was able to sell merchandise from Amway to my church. Though a week later, my church called and said, you know what? This isn't working. We want the refund. So I had to pay them the refund. And now Amway had made money from me, but I lost money because of that money back guarantee stuff. So I
Yeah.
think Shopify is the way to go.
It's not necessarily passive income right away. It can be passive income, but you have to set it up to be that, right? So you have to set up the automations. If you're selling digital products, then you got to make sure all your automations are set. Then it could become some sort of passive income, but you still have to market it. That's a myth. When people are like, oh, yeah, you could just sell it online, it's passive. No, it's not. You still have to put in the work. You still have to put in the time.
And you got to check periodically that the links are working, because sometimes the
Absolutely.
links break. There is work. We're not, don't get it twisted. There is work. You have to do the work, but it's another form of income to give
Absolutely.
you a little more breathing room to do what you want to do. And if you do it right, it can take you to Puerto Rico so you can have your pina colada on the beach.
I love doing that. I love going back to home to Puerto Rico, get a nice vacation home, and just work on my business while I'm by the beach.
There you go. And there you go. You can work remotely wherever you are. I love that. What are some of the mistakes that you see new Shopifyers do?
Oh man. So focusing too much on like fonts and colors instead of actually launching and getting things done. I think sometimes people get stuck on perfection. And honestly, just getting it out there, even if it's messy, it's more important than getting it perfect. You can always optimize it as you go. Not necessarily if you're doing, for example, drop shipping or print on demand, you're not customizing the descriptions. You're just downloading whatever comes and you're leaving that there. You want to make sure you customize your own product descriptions. Another thing is not having good quality images for your products. You can leverage natural light, get a light box, use your phone. Your iPhone is good enough to take a picture. It's the lighting that's going to kill you or make you, right?
Yes, yes.
So you can use those light boxes and light it up, and then keep it simple though. Don't put too much things in the background, and then have those images for your products be consistent. You don't want them to be like different backgrounds and different things, different sizes. All of that plays a part in the trust that you're building when visitors come to your website.
Now, is Placeit something that they could use, put their item in,
Hmm.
like Placeit is a website. It's placeit.net. I can put my book in it, and someone is holding the book.
Right. Right. So you can leverage websites like Placeit to create your mockups, to have those lifestyle images to use as visuals on the website. Absolutely. We do that all the time.
So that as long as you have taken a good picture of the product, you don't have to worry about anything else. Just take a really good picture of the product, and then you upload it up to placeit.net, and then you can put it up on Shopify.
With Placeit, it's not necessarily uploading the actual image of the product. You have to have the design the same way you would do it with Printful or
Oh, okay.
Printful or Printify, and then you create the mockup using the design. So the book cover, the design on the shirt or on the mug, and then you can use a person, and then Placeit has AI people too, so they have a lot of AI created images as well. So
As well as Shopify, right? Because we played with AIs in one of our sessions. We actually went into the AI component and put some product in there, and had.
so yeah, and then we played with the background.
Right, right.
Yes, I remember that. So with Shopify now, you can, let's say you create that, you take a picture of your image and you upload it into Shopify. You have your product page. You can now go in the back end of your product page and remove the background or change the background color or change or use AI to generate a background. Right? So I think with you we were playing around with like audition
That's
studios or
right.
and things like that, and
That's right.
it did an amazing job.
Yes, it did. It was lovely. It was very lovely. And so today we have so many opportunities to make a side hustle that it will generate money
Mhm.
if you know what you're doing, if you are consistent, and you make
That part.
sure that you keep up with it. You can't just put it up. And I've learned this as well, so I'm
Mhm.
telling you something I've learned, because when my book first came out, I put it up, I was like, okay, that's it.
I'm done.
And yeah, and then I'm like, but nobody's buying the book. What's happening? And it's like, yeah, no, that's not how it works.
That is a huge mistake a lot of folks do. And that's a gap that I notice amongst my clients. So I have retainer clients. Some are out there and it shows in their sales. They're out in TikTok, they're out in Instagram, they're out there and they're getting the word out. I have something for you. And then I have clients who are a little more passive about it. And they just like, okay, we can make you the most beautiful website. But if you don't market it, it's not going to bring in the sales, not by itself. It's just not, that's not part of it. There's components to selling online, and marketing is one of them. Absolutely. You want to make sure that you're letting people know I have something for you, because we're not reading minds yet. We're not there yet.
And for actors, it really isn't all that hard, because you're doing this for your career. You are selling items for your career. So it just means you get up, you do a little commercial for your item. Hey, I got this new product I want to share with you, or you do a live stream, and you talk about the benefits of that product. As an actor, you are a pitch person, especially if you're doing commercials for other products. We're talking to you today about utilizing the gifts you are already using for some other company and putting it to work for your company. For J Lo became a mega millionaire not because of her acting ability or her singing ability, but because she was moving merchandise. She was selling cosmetics,
Mhm.
perfume, jeans. She created an industry from the merchandise that she was selling. it
Mhm.
it didn't hurt her business as an actor. It just blew her up as an actor, more so because she was probably one of the first well, definitely the first Latina, but one of the first artists out there who was selling product,
Products.
and people were buying it. The J Lo jeans, everybody was going to
Right.
go get those jeans.
Right.
Jenny
'Cause
from the
everyone with
block.
that J-Lo
That's
booty.
right, J Lo from the block. We want those jeans, and we could fit in those jeans. So
Yes, and actually also as an actor, you're able to even leverage what you already have going on. So you make content. Period. Wear your own merch while you're making content. Wear your own merch while you're doing some behind the scenes content. You use your own cup while you're recording your podcast. Things like that. You're embedding what you sell into your lifestyle already. You guys are constantly entertaining, being energetic, and you can leverage your personality and your energy and your vibe and monetize.
that's right. Go on set with your T-shirt. Take a picture with the lead actor in your T-shirt.
Absolutely. Give your merch away to people who can like influence.
I was just about to say that when you go on set and you're going to work with, get some T-shirts that you can hand out to the lead
Give that out.
actors, even the crew, and say, "Hey, can I take a picture with you? Do you mind putting on the T-shirt? Hey," and then you can do a post that says, "I was on Grey's Anatomy, and look who's wearing my merch." There's a lot of stuff on YouTube for Shopify and other e-commerce sites, but nobody is talking to the artist about it.
Right.
Nobody is saying, "Hey, you already have merchandise you can leverage. If you're a performing artist, let's say you do plays, make a deal with whoever owns the play and say, "Hey, you should videotape this and then sell it." Tyler Perry is a great example of somebody who was writing plays, then he videotaped it, and then he sold it to the churches, which is how he started making his money. So then when he would go to churches and do the plays, he actually had a copy of it already done, and he would sell it. How I know this is because I have friends who are big Tyler Perry fans and will go to all those church plays before he was Tyler Perry, and they still have the DVDs, the VH, whatever it is. They
VHS.
still have the stuff that he did. I don't know if he did VHS, but I know he had DVDs. Just a little hack: DVDs are easy to print and make copies. You can get about 1,500 DVDs for about maybe $1,000. So if you have a little extra money and you've done a piece of, you've done a play or a movie or a web series, get it printed on a DVD and then have it to sell when you go places, and put it on Shopify, so that when you are in a physical location and you have the product with you, you just I pull out my phone, and
Your POS.
we do
Yep.
that POS. Okay, yes, I take that. Yes, I'll take your card. Yes, oh yes,
You can still make it like a digital product though.
yes,
So if you
yes, you
have
can.
that content, you can still use that digital content and sell that as well. And even when you're in person, you can have like an iPad and showcasing stuff. Yeah, you can buy this. Here's a QR code. And it
Great.
takes you right to pay.
That is a great tip. We actually have one of our movies on Vimeo. I
Mhm.
didn't think of connecting it. Just as you're saying it, it's like, oh, wait a minute, we can
Yep.
connect that to Shopify. Oh my God. So yes,
Yes.
yes. I am working on bringing everything together under one house, because when you're starting out, people give you, I have things everywhere.
Right.
And because of you, it's helped me to start bringing all my stuff under Shopify.
Yes. You can do so much with Shopify. So much.
Can you tell us a little bit about the apps, using the apps with Shopify?
Yeah.
Because Shopify has like a lot of apps.
Yeah. So my thing is if you can think about it, there's probably an app for that.
Okay.
Shopify has an app store, just like the Apple, the Google app stores. And it's filled with gajillions of apps, so many apps. And there's options. You can go through and read the reviews. Some are free, some you pay premium, some have a little bit of both. And what the apps help you do is optimize the functionality of your store. So I love using One Click Up for the collecting emails, because it lets you even gamify it a little bit. You can do those spin the wheels,
Yes, you taught me
right? And
that.
things like
Yes.
that. Now, the trick with those is you are actually the one who programs the chances of them getting different things. So if you just want to offer one lead magnet, one lead coupon, one lead discount, you can make it that it's 100% just that one thing, right? It doesn't have to be that you're like, oh, now I have to find all kinds of things to give them. No, you don't. That's just the illusion of the spin the wheel, for example. But it gamifies them wanting to give you their contact. And we've already covered how contact is gold. I also love using Judge Me reviews, and that one will help automate you sending out an email to collect a review. And
Oh,
then you can
wow.
also showcase your reviews under your product pages. You can showcase them as a carousel in your home page as well. Um, Reviews are gold because people trust reviews. People would like to read reviews, so then they can say, oh, this is something that it's likable. People like this, then I might like it,
And
right?
the Judge Me Review is an app in Shopify?
Correct.
Awesome. I wrote it down.
There's appointment apps like I mentioned earlier. They
Okay.
kind of work like Calendly, right?
Uh-huh.
But they're already embedded into Shopify. They turn that product page, they turn that add the cart button into a schedule your time or book your
Oh, wow.
appointment, book your
Okay.
call. And then your calendar pops up, and you can integrate it with like your Google Calendar so that you can block off time, or you can like set your availability. You can also use apps like Seal subscriptions is the one I use for my retainer clients,
Okay.
and now their monthly payments come out automatically,
That's
right?
awesome.
It's yeah, there's so many different apps to help you optimize your store for functionality. That's why I say you could use this for services too. It doesn't have to be just product based. You can actually offer your service. So if you do some coaching for acting and all that, here, yeah, book an appointment with me, and it costs. It'll charge you. You have to go through
Yes, it
checkout.
costs, people. Yes, it costs.
You have to go through the checkout to
Yes.
finalize this appointment.
So let's talk about your circle, your community. What is it and what do you get for joining it? If I were to join it, what benefits would it give me?
Absolutely. So I have a community, Pixelnamic Circle, where we have e-commerce just like you, like-minded people who are trying to figure out how to do this and not do it alone. I have monthly Q&A sessions where you can specifically come exclusively for the community and come ask your questions. All right, let's share your screen. Let me see. Let's get in there because I'm very hands-on. I love doing that. You get access to my exclusive affiliate program where you have an opportunity to earn $500 per referral. You have templates, resources, ebooks that I sell. You have access to it there. Prompts, and then the community part. That's the secret sauce. Okay, we have one of my clients made over 29,000 in April. So we're celebrating together. We're celebrating the wins together. And then constantly posting different engagement posts with like tips and things. So it's a community where it can allow you to do the DIY
Mhm.
Shopify, right?
Mhm.
But then you still have some guidance. And then
That's
you have
awesome.
access to my coaching program as well, the Pixel to Profits program.
Pixel to Profits program. Tell me what that is because you just
So
went through it real quick.
it's a 5-stage framework that I put together, and it's actually new. And the Pixel to Profits framework and program, it's 5 different stages that we walk you through to create your store. We focus first on your customer avatar, then your products, then how we're going to convert, how are we going to bring traffic, and then the last stage is optimization loop, because you're constantly optimizing what's working, what's not, what do we need to try instead, because it's not an all and done thing. You're constantly wanting to revisit your store to see, look at your analytics, what's working, what's not.
So let's go back to the number one thing you said. The first thing you said was your customer avatar. For
Yes.
actors who don't know what that is, break it down.
So your customer avatar is basically going to be your ideal client. It's going to be the person you are speaking to, that you're selling to. So you definitely can put a name. It's not just the demographics, age. Okay, yeah, age, occupation, where do they live, but also how do they feel? What are their pain points? What are their goals? So you want to get it deeper than just demographics, right? How do they feel when they go home from work? What are they going through every day? Are they single parents, or are they parents, or are they parents? What is it that they do? And when you know who you're talking to, when you know who your ideal client, your ideal customer is, it's going to help you with the messaging. It's going to help you to speak to them, because you're niching down on an actual target. You're
Right.
not just out here like me. I was selling fashion for everyone.
Right, but
Right?
that's important to understand, because when we are starting to sell, we think it's for everyone. Everyone can use these earrings,
No.
and it's understanding who can use them and why can they use them and why they need to use them. It's
Right.
not just because they're cute, but there's got to be a,
Right.
no, because sometimes it's like, wow. And because sometimes we buy things just because it's cute. That's cute, and then we never use it again. But to be able to say, this will help you be when you are in this
Right.
down place. So as an actor, these earrings will help you because they're a showpiece. So when you walk into an office, people are going to look at those earrings and go, oh my God, where'd you
Right.
get those earrings? How fabulous are those
Right.
earrings? Oh my, can you,
You feel the confidence.
yes, and they
Yeah.
also become a conversation for you without you even having said anything. They're
Right.
coming to you because those earrings caught their attention.
Absolutely.
And so when you're selling those earrings, you are selling them to the actor who wants to make a difference when they walk in a room, and maybe they're shy. So these earrings give them something to start a conversation with. That is a wonderful avatar to, I'm reaching out to that actor who, you're good getting on stage and doing your stuff, but when you're in a room with a lot of people, you just get nervous and don't know what to say. Well, here are some fabulous earrings to start the conversation for you. That's
What
a
you just
good.
did, Lydia, is a perfect example of leaning and honing down on the storytelling. You gave
Thank
them
you.
the visual. I visualized it. The actor coming in, and the earrings are popping, and someone's like, "Oh, that's what sells."
We as actors have to know that we already have so many skills to be able to sell our own product, but
Absolutely.
we panic, and then we go, I don't know how to do this. The fact and the truth is, you do this every time you go up for a job. Every time you are auditioning, you
Mhm.
are promoting a skill set that is already in you. So just remember that Shopify can be your friend, and
Mm,
Vero can be your best friend, who connects you with Shopify to make you shine and make your wallet be bulky. It start like, oh, my
absolutely.
wallet is expanding. It's expanding,
Absolutely.
but you got to do the work. I
Yes.
just want to keep bringing that to, because we have become a society that wants everything in 5 seconds, and then we discard it if it doesn't. I
Mhm.
was just
Mhm.
sharing with my neighbor this morning, who congratulated me because my YouTube channel is over 100,000 subscribers, and I got my silver button right behind me somewhere. My silver button
Yay.
is somewhere back there, and I got recognized as one of the top acting podcasts. but it's taken 13 years of being steady and consistent. Not to say it's going to take you 13 years, but when I
Right.
was starting, there you weren't around. I didn't know you then. I wasn't part of morning meetup. I didn't have access to all these amazing people who could help
Mhm.
me put the pieces together in the puzzle. So I was trying to figure stuff out by myself and making mistakes and not knowing, oh, wait a minute,
Right.
I have to be on top of my social media. I can't just put the video
Mhm.
on and that's it. You mean I have to cut clips and I have to share and
Right.
I've got so that there is work to do, just like being an actor.
Mhm.
You cannot just give your headshots to your agents and go, okay, I'm waiting on you.
Right.
No, you are out there doing the work. As Judy Kane, my favorite acting teacher, actor, fabulous coach, says, the agents get 10% or the managers get 15%, but you do the rest of the work. You
Mhm.
do the 90% or the
Mhm.
85%. That is on you. You're not to be waiting. As creatives, as actors, as musicians, as singers. We have to book our own work. We've got to get out there and see how we can get stuff going. And that is why I think Shopify is a wonderful, wonderful asset for not just actors, but any creative person who has merchandise or services or digital
Absolutely.
downloads or movies or songs. What is it? CDs that it will help you.
And honestly, you're speaking truth, because even for clients who come to me for us to build the stores and their Shopify stores, there's still work to be done on their end. There still needs to be someone letting people know, hey, I'm here and this is what I have for you. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really important to understand that the time you invest in, that's what you're going to get back. If you don't put in, what are you going to get back?
I love this analogy. There is a bamboo that it takes 6 years for it to pop out. You don't even see it on the
Mm-hmm.
ground. You're watering and watering and watering and watering and watering and then in the sixth year, it's a whole bamboo that pops out. It just
A
comes from
whole
the
tree.
ground and there it is.
Right.
But if you did not water and continue to water for 6 years, you would never have seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing, it's like prayer. you know you may pray for something, but it might take a couple of seasons. It may take a while for it to manifest.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about manifestation. Oh, I'm
Right.
I'm I'm visualizing it. I'm writing it down. But there's the doing part, right? In
That part.
manifestation, yes, you visualize it, you speak it, but you have to do something for it. If I want a beautiful garden, I can go, I'm going to have a beautiful garden. It's going to look like this and it's going to have this, but I have to go out there and till the soil. I got to plant the seeds.
Right.
I got to put fresh baby plants out there in order for it to start to grow. And that is how business or career is. We got to
Yes.
put it out there. So just a reminder. And for those of you who are interested in getting a Shopify page, I highly, highly, highly recommend you get Vero as your coach. You will not regret it one bit, because we cannot do everything by ourselves. And most
Mhm.
of us are too busy to do other things. So to have somebody walking you through it like Vero is going to make everything so much easier for you. And again, you're going to do the work, but she's going to be guiding you. So if someone wants to find you, because they need you like I needed you and I still need you, how should they get in contact with you?
Sure. So they can visit pixelnamics.com or email me at veto at pixelnamics.com.
First of all, I just want to say thank you, because you bring so much to our community. You are the grandmaster
Thank you.
Shopify superwoman. And so I wanted to I wanted to share you with my community because I know that my community really could use you, really could get a lot out of working with you. So I'm glad that you took this time out for us.
Thank you for having me.
And I can't wait to hear more about the circle. So I'm excited. Ooh, wasn't that fantastic? Ooh, proof that your creativity can pay off between auditions and jobs. Big thanks to Vero Lopez for dropping gems on building your own lane. And if you want more information on Vero, you can go to pixelnamics.com. That's pixelnamics.com. And you can just make an appointment and talk more with her to figure out what it is that you want to do and how she can be of service with you. And don't go anywhere, because coming up next, I am speaking with Mr. Spencer Cramber, Session Director for Commercials, and he is showing us how to master the commercial audition. Check it out.